This is, it's been in the school playground for years and years. They've had them from brand new. There was 2 of them. Don't know what happened to the other one, but at the start of the summer, literally the day after I got home, I think, this was next to the bins. I was asked if I wanted it, because if not, it was going in the tip. And you know me, I couldn't help myself. These pieces on the seat definitely need replacing. I'd really like to replace the arms as well. They also kind of need doing. There's a piece of the frame down at the bottom that also definitely needs replacing. And while I'm at it doing the seat, I thought I might as well try and do the back as well, the back too. So when I got supplied the wood for the crosses, or the cross, I also got the wood for this lot. It's held together using screws, sunk in and doweled over the top. As a result of that, when it comes to dismantling it, I may well have to destroy the parts that I want to replace, which means that before I take it apart, I need to photograph and template everything. Also, because it's one of those things where everything kind of holds together everything else, I want to avoid taking it completely apart if I can, and try and just take off an arm, replace it, put it back on, take off the other arm, etc., to maintain the strength of the whole thing as we go on, if possible. The first thing I decided to tackle was the seat slats. So I wanted to make templates of those before I started to remove them. However, the back slats were over those, so I chose to remove them first of all. And in doing so, that also exposed the other weak part of the frame, this piece which runs across between here. So now that I've got all of that off, unfortunately, the 2 screws that remained in the woods and I tried to remove with mole grips both snapped because they are so old. I believe parts of the other 2 are also still buried in there, but not a problem. We've got plenty of space to put new screws in other locations. So the next thing I'm going to do is remake this piece here. That should give the top end of the chair some nice strength as we go forward. I boo-booed with the router. The bit came out slightly and sank too deep here, so I'm gonna have to make this bit again. Oh, there's one bit replaced. This is going to be an epic project. It's going to take me a week, I should think, at least. Hope I don't cock it up too badly, otherwise I'll have about years worth of firewood out of it. Okay, bit of an update, because I realise I've not been filming a whole lot, but that's because I've been trying to keep my head and take things as methodically as possible. But there have been a few developments since I last filmed. I was in the process of... After turning the camera off last, I made the templates of the seat slats. That's why all the cardboard is on the floor. And in doing so, and then while starting to take them off, I realised that there was this rot here, which I had not been able to see when the chair was assembled. My thinking then is to cut this section away and try and slot in a new piece of oak. Ambitious, I'm sure, but I thought, hey, what other choice have I got? Either try it and ruin it, or try it, get it right, and when we're able to move forward. So I persevered with taking the seat slats off, which you can see I have done. That also revealed that this piece here is split down here, so I am considering changing it, and I think if anything that would be my next step. But what I also just tried to do is remove these screws, and every single one of them is seized solid. I've even tried to lubricate them, WD and that. These two snapped off on me trying to get them undone. I'm not even going to bother with the rest because they're all exactly the same. It kind of, I can just relocate the screws for the new slats when they go on. Haven't looked too closely at this front one yet, but I want to try and keep as much of it as original as I can, apart from anything else, to make the job quicker. So the next thing I'm going to do, I think, is pray that this terrible piece down here continues holding the bottom end of the back together while I lay it down on its back, remove this piece. That will mean destroying it probably. Basically anything I remove I destroy. Try and patch that and then put a new piece on here. That will then keep the bottom strong enough while I change that piece, and we continue to move forward. It is also now 4 o'clock, so none of that will, not much of that will happen today. We'll have to come back and resume tomorrow.
The next day.
Right, what's happened today? I got here this morning and started chiseling, chasing out the rotten stuff, and it just kept going and going and going, and eventually it went through the back. And at this point now, I've of course ruined this back leg. Was pretty frustrated at that. I'd hoped I'd be able to patch it, but it just wasn't going to happen. This whiter stuff is all dry rotten. It just crumbles. The flakes that I've been making, it's not nowhere near as strong as it should be, unlike this pinker stuff here, and it's not really perfect here. It's even worse up under here. It continues all the way up here, look, where it's kind of discolored yellow. So really, if I'm doing a proper job, I've got to get rid of this piece here, which is frustrating because that means it throws my plan of doing one piece at a time out the window, because if I want to change that back leg, I've got to take that arm off. That will mean destroying that arm. That will probably mean then I've got to take this off and the knees off and the back down there. I don't want to damage these if I can avoid it. So I was pretty wound up. Went and felt sorry for myself for a bit over lunch, and also while I resharpened my chisel that I ruined hitting screws when chiseling. But I fixed the chisel now, feeling slightly better. I've had a little think, and the material that I was given to remake the arms, I was given way too much, which is a good thing because I can always use it for other things. Zoom out a bit there. This board is not quite 5 foot long, which is the length of that far post that I've ruined. But if it is this long, I think it'll look the same. If anything, it will just be the same height as the other one, so I don't see a problem with that. So I think I'll be all right to take 4 inches off this end, remake that post, and then I've still got enough material left over to remake the arms as I plan to, and indeed, if it comes to it, remake every other 2-inch piece, well, apart from these two. If I have to remake these two, we'll need more wood, but everything else I think I should be able to remake with what I've got. So it has made the project yet longer still. But I'm refusing to give up with it. It's very difficult for me when things don't go to plan first time round, because I often have in my head what I want to happen, how I want it to happen, the plan of attack. And then if things start to go awry, it gets quite frustrating quite quickly. but I need to remember that I am nothing compared to the carpenters that I watch for fun on YouTube. I can't expect things to go right first time round, and I need to expect to get things wrong, cock it up, and have to do it again. That's just part of learning, isn't it? Shut up, make a new plan, get on with it. Right, how many days have I been doing this now? I don't even know, to be honest. But today I have finished dismantling the chair. I've taken it completely to bits. As I suspected, it wasn't possible to remove any of the other pieces without destroying them, and it all had to come apart because of that leg over there. So I chopped some with the saw because I just knew that those screws were never going to come out, and that meant that, yeah, well, apart from the front two legs over there, because I don't think I've quite got the wood to remake those, everything else has been destroyed. So it's almost going to be more of a replica of the chair than a restoration, but never mind, you know, if anything, that just gives me more opportunity to practice my skills. And it meant that once it was apart, I could start going forward again. So as you've seen a bit of, I haven't been filming everything because I can't be bothered, to be honest. It's too hot, and you know, the project's been testing my patience. Plus, so many of the tasks of drilling, chiseling, rasping, sanding, routering, etc. Are all things you see me do in the past, and they're no different now than they were when you last saw them. So it gets a bit repetitive in the video otherwise, and I'm not skilled enough of an editor to make a montage of those things exciting, really. But you'll have seen a bit of me going forward again, starting with replacing the broken leg. Let's zoom out a bit so you can see. I cut that slab the other day, 4 inches thick, because that's the widest point down the bottom. Drilled, chiseled, and that felt quite good. Doing a bit, felt like timber framing or something. Just rasped off all of the drill marks. It's got to be sanded smooth as well. Used the router on the edges. That is now pretty much done, apart from just fixing up the end, which needs trimming off a little bit and just shaping up into the point, same as this other one. I also, the one that broke was the taller one, so for the new one, I just thought, I'll sod it, and I've made them the same height. They will be the same height when it's finished. So we've got 2 back legs again, at least. Now I just need to remake everything else, which is going to take a while, of course. Genuinely, if anybody is in Wiltshire with a large, you know, carpentry bandsaw, or a bandsaw with a wood cutting blade on it, if you know me and you know where I live more specifically, or if you're in Wiltshire and you happen to be close, I would very much appreciate it if you'd let me come and use your bandsaw, because so many of the chair's components have these wavy edges on them. That's how it was made from factory, I'm almost certain, and it would just speed up the process so much. If not, who knows, I might hire one, but my little jigsaw isn't up to cutting through the 2-inch stuff, so it's got to be a drill and chisel jobby otherwise. So we'll plough on, I suppose, but at least feeling a bit more optimistic about the project now, at least.